Hey guys, I'm Shubham Bhatt. Welcome back to my channel. In today's chess video, we are going to explore some deadly opening traps for black that arise after the moves e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6 and bishop c4. The famous Italian game, one of the most popular openings in all of chess. After this, black plays bishop c5. And now, white has a few typical options. They can go for c3 to build the center or castle to bring the king to safety. Another very common move is d3, defending the e4 pawn and opening the diagonal for the bishop. And this is exactly what we want white to play. Because now comes a very sneaky and dangerous move, f5. This is called the Lucchini Gambit. White usually continues with knight g5, aiming for a fried liver style attack. But instead of defending passively, we strike back by pushing the pawn forward, cutting off the bishop and attacking the knight. White jumps in with knight f7, forking our queen and rook, and at this point, he thinks he has won material. But here comes the surprise. Queen h4. Now white is suddenly in big trouble. If he greedily takes the rook, then queen f2 is checkmate and the game is instantly over. So he cannot take it. To stop the mate, castling looks like the only move. But after knight f6, our rook is free and white is forced to capture it anyway. Then we will play knight g4. And look at the position now. In just 8 moves, black has launched a devastating attack against the king. Queen h2 is already threatening checkmate. The best defense is h3. But then comes the killer move. Knight takes f2. The queen is attacked. If white captures, black recaptures with the queen and the attack continues. If the king moves to corner, we simply push our pawn and rip open the king. No matter how white captures, it doesn't work. If the queen tries to take, then queen g1 is checkmate. If the pawn takes, then d5 hits the bishop and activates our own bishop, unleashing another wave of threats. After bishop takes, we captures this pawn, and as you can see, black is completely crushing white with unstoppable mating attacks. And there is absolutely no way to save this position. Going back, let's look at another interesting line. So, rook takes, queen takes. And now, instead of moving to the corner, what if the king goes to h2? Well, then again, we have d5. Bishop takes, and now comes the absolutely mind-blowing move, bishop to g4. Look, the queen is under attack, and unfortunately, it cannot leave the first rank because we still have this queen g1 checkmate. And if you are thinking of taking with the pawn, then believe it or not, queen h4 is another beautiful checkmate. Okay, let's go back again. Now in this position, you might think, instead of taking with the rook, what if he simply moves his queen? Well, then just look at this beautiful line. Knight h3 double check, king h1 or h2 doesn't matter. Then again, knight f2 double check, king g1 is forced. And finally, queen h1 is an absolutely stunning checkmate. Alright, let's return to this position. We already saw how white gets completely crushed if he castles. But now you might be wondering, what if white plays g3 instead? It looks like a safe move, but once again, black has some deadly ideas ready. First, we calmly save our queen. Now white thinks he's out of danger, so he goes ahead and captures the rook. But once again, the same powerful plan appears. d5 exclamation mark, followed by developing the bishop and attacking the queen. If white tries to block, we simply ignore the threat and capture the g-pawn. Now comes the key idea, a bishop sacrifice followed by pushing the g-pawn to g2. This pawn is now completely unstoppable. The rook has nowhere to run. Even if it tries to escape, we simply take it with the bishop, and black ends up winning decisively with a crushing attack. Okay, Now in this position, instead of blocking this threat, even if he moves his queen away, you can bring in your knight into action, and we're ready to pounce on him from all directions. We have this royal fork lined up. Queen g2 is another option to invade white's kingside, and of course, both these bishops can jump in anytime to finish off the king. So basically, it's all over for white. Now let's go back to the original position. What if, after f4, white tries to give a check with the bishop? No problem, we simply play king f8. The knight is still in serious trouble. It can't move because if it does, white immediately loses the bishop. And if white decides to exchange, you don't even take the bishop. Instead, you capture the knight first. When the bishop finally retreats, black completely destroys white's kingside. In fact, the engine already shows almost a +4 advantage for black in this position. And that's coming straight out of the opening. Alright, in this position, a more logical response from white would be to defend the knight with something like queen h5 or even h4. If queen h5, then you can push him back this way and slowly develop all your pieces. And if white tries to defend with h4, we simply attack the knight again. After all the exchanges are over, black comes out with an extra pawn. Yes, you won't be able to castle, but in return, you get better development, active pieces, and strong attacking chances. The engine already evaluates this position at around +2.5 for black, which means black is clearly better straight out of the opening. Alright, let's go back again. Some of you might be thinking, what if white doesn't play any of these moves and simply accepts the gambit? In that case, black immediately takes control of the center and at the right moment, we also win back that pawn. Now the bishop is under attack and the most natural square for it is bishop b5, pinning our knight and threatening to capture this pawn. But once again, black has a clever idea. Instead of defending the pawn, we focus on development and king safety. So we play knight e7, white captures, and now we castle kingside. After castling, our knight is no longer pinned, so white has to act. The most logical move is to recapture with the knight, and we respond by recapturing with the pawn. White must now save the bishop, so it retreats. And here comes another brilliant tactical idea. Just look at the position. Black has already castled and all the pieces are ready to attack. White, on the other hand, has zero development. So what do? We sacrifice our bishop to rip open the king. White is forced to take, and then we finally pick up the pawn. From here, the plan is simple. Bring out the queen quickly and launch all our pieces toward the exposed king. Even though black is technically down material, white is so far behind in development that the attack is overwhelming. In fact, the engine already gives black a massive +4.5 advantage in this position, a crushing attack straight out of the opening. And that's all for today. That's the power of the Lucchini Gambit, a dangerous, aggressive weapon that can completely destroy unprepared opponents straight out of the Italian game. If you want to surprise your opponents, win faster games, and start attacking from move 5, this is a weapon you must add to your repertoire. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your chess friends. And tell me in the comments which trap shocked you the most. This is Shubham from Chess shortvTrap, and I'll see you in the next deadly opening.